update on my arm. It's looking a lot better today. Like a lot better. As you can see, it's still speckled with bumps. But I think they're starting to dry out. So, especially the ones that are back here were very much raised and filled, almost to the point of like boils. And as you can see, they are flattening and drying. So I'm really excited about that. I have a lot of micro bumps still though, but the bigger ones are drying out. Let me look at my other arm. This one is coming along also, but not as quickly as the other arm. And right here is where my original rash was. Oh, let me see if I can, right there. The original rash was right there. You can see it's still, the area of the skin there is still a little raised. The bumps are gone and it doesn't really itch, but the skin is a little dried right there, and I think that's gonna be a scar. I'm gonna try to work with it so that it doesn't scar, but you see I still also have a lot of micro bumps down here. So yeah, that's where we are on that. And it kind of goes up, you can see it goes all the way up my arm to my shoulder. So let me see if I can zoom in. I don't know if it's zoomed in or not. But yeah, so that's the update for today. I'm on day 3 of doing the black seed oil internally with the Chlorofresh, and externally doing oregano oil and tea tree, and it seems to be working. So I think some type of server just came to the house. I was out in the yard and the lady was in my yard. She was calling. So I went out and she handed me this. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay, this must be a copy of the document that that they sent in the email on yesterday. And I'm looking, and it is just a copy of my lease. It's just a copy of the lease. There is no additional document with it. They can't even serve me properly. Like the dysfunction. Like what exactly, why did you come all the way to my house to drop off a copy of a lease that I already received when I actually signed the lease, and that you sent yesterday in an email with a letter attached saying that you were terminating my lease? Like, what is happening? Like the dysfunction. So I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna go down there today and pretty much talk to them. And yeah, I just don't even understand what's going on. But just so you can see here, under maintenance, you can see that the landlord is in charge of screens. They're in charge of running water. They're in charge of windows, plumbing, hot water. Yeah. They're in charge of the filters for the water, and they're in charge of water treatment as well. And it also says that I have the ability to do my own water treatment. Apparently I didn't notice this previously. And of course I'm also in charge of the resupply of my own water. So I buy my own cistern water. But yeah, we're both in charge of water treatment, but they are really trying to give me a hard time about putting in an RO system. But they're also refusing to treat the water, which is their responsibility. And yeah, It's just really crazy, like how everything is going right here. But I'm glad they dropped off the lease, because here we have it in black and white, what's going on. And the email that they sent to me with the other document in the termination of my lease document, it basically says that this lease is going to remain in force until 8/31. So I'm like, okay, well, if the lease is in force until 8/31, that doesn't just mean that I have to pay my rent until 8/31. That also means that y'all have to do these things that you're in charge of until 8/31. And they're really like acting like they don't have to do these things. And like, I'm, asking too much by asking for them to actually follow the lease agreement that, as you can see right here, my landlord initialed and he signed. So I don't even understand like why we're even having this back and forth right now about getting things done when my lease clearly outlines what the responsibilities are. And now, because I brought up the fact that this is what my lease says, they come today and drop me off a copy of my lease and let me know that my lease is going to terminate on 8/31, which is fine because it terminates on 8/31 anyway, which is also like kind of crazy to me. Like, you literally sent me a termination of lease notice to let me know that you were terminating my lease as of 8/31, but my lease already terminates on 8/31. So basically what you're saying is you're not going to renew my lease, which is fine. But it's just interesting that they went through the process of sending me a lease termination letter and also sending someone to my house to serve me these papers that also doesn't include the termination letter. Child, this is the shenanigans that I'm dealing with right now with Remax St. Croix. So we're gonna go down there today and have a conversation with them to find out, okay, thank you for dropping off this copy of my lease. These are the things that you're supposed to be taking care of. Do we have a date as to when water treatment is going to happen, or when you're going to get some information back from the homeowner as to allowing me to treat the water that I pay for, that's in my lease, that I'm allowed already to treat? Because that hasn't been answered at all. They've ignored all of those requests. So yeah, interesting. All right, family, Nick and I are getting in the car right now, about to head over to Remax. See if we can talk to these people about the shenanigans that's happening and make heads or tails of what we need to do next, basically. You got everything, baby?
Yeah,
oh. Okay, well, there's that. So, the conversation with Remax, it didn't go well. Didn't go well at all. I recorded the entire conversation in audio. They were aware of the recording. Because the owner, Gail, asked me to put the phone on the table so that they could all see they were being recorded. Okay, great. So y'all all know that y'all being recorded. So the entire, did they have a mask back? No? Okay. So the entire time that we're going through the issues that we've had with this home and with this property manager, this dude is shucking and jiving and like talking all circles around the issues. Like every single time he would not address anything. Nick asked him to, just confirm certain events, blah, 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 blah. He literally said, I'm not going to confirm anything that you're saying. All right. It doesn't matter if you confirm it or not. I have the emails. I have the receipts. Like, this is what it is. So, I guess Gail got tired of the back and forth and finally was like, okay, listen, If we're talking about health and safety concerns, like, go ahead and do what you need to do for your family. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear from day one, Gail. Like, we're not asking for nothing extracurricular. But when I said that I need to do what I need to do for my family, I was told you can't do that. You need to wait. So I've been waiting. And here we are, 5 days from when I actually mentioned that our cistern water is contaminated. And I still don't have an answer from the property manager as to what the feedback was from the damn owner. I have no answer. But what he did make sure to do yesterday was to get in contact with the property owner and spin some web of lies in order to have the property owner sign off on the termination of our lease. Oh, you did that? But when I asked, so while you was having that conversation, like, what was their feedback? Oh, you don't have any feedback. Oh, because you never told them. You never told them about the issue with the cistern being contaminated. That's the only reason why there would be no there's no feedback. Like, you don't have anything. Not that they declined, not that they said they wanted to see the report, nothing. Because you never told them, obviously. At the end of the conversation, now I'm going to do a separate video of the actual recording so we can all listen to the recording together. The end of the video, at the end of the conversation, Gail says, well, didn't you tell Andre when he was leaving, didn't you tell him you was gonna fuck him up? I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, we're in a whole like professional meeting like that. Why would I say that? Number one, that ain't even how I get down. Number two, no, I did not say that. Number three, I have the whole conversation recorded. Let's all watch it together. I recorded it in video. You can see the video of him walking away from me, getting in the truck, ignoring everything that I got to say, and then me saying, okay, I guess you'll have to hear from my lawyer. At which point he says, that's when she said she was gonna fuck me up. No, I didn't. I said, you'll hear from my lawyer. Well, she pointed at me and she said that.
No, she pointed at me and mouthed that.
I pointed at him and I mouthed.
Because you know, two things my wife is afraid and a child. Very.
Like, I mouthed that. I mouthed that while he was pulled down the street. Like,
she was chasing behind the car.
Apparently, I must have been running behind the car, because you can see in the video him getting in the car, him closing the door, turning on his damn engine, and driving off. Well, it happened after the video stopped. How do you know when my video stopped? You pulled off. And then here go Gail ass. Well, talking to Nick. Well, were you there? It doesn't matter if he was there. I have a video of the entire encounter. Now that I've showed the video, we were all there. Like, what? I couldn't believe it. I was like, you actually told her that? Like, you actually lied like that and told her that I said I was gonna fuck you up. I can only imagine the lies. I can only imagine the lies that you told the property owner in order to get my lease terminated on some vindictiveness. Like,
ain't nothing ever happened in a day.
You can't do nothing for me in a day, but you was able to get that property owner on the phone, get paperwork sent over to him via email, and get his signature back
in a day.
The same day. But I'm on day 5 waiting to hear about what he gonna do about my contaminated water.
You on month 9 trying to hear about some damn screens.
I'm on month 9 or 10 to get these goddamn screens done in my house.
Over $200.
I'm still waiting for y'all to send somebody to my house to take care of mice. Thank God we exterminated them ourselves. Like, but in a day, you was able to get all that done. I said, okay, we're done here. Like, I was so mad at that point. Like, you'll hear it on the record. At that point, I was so, I'm like, what kind of snake shit is that? Like, you literally, because you were wrong, you were in the wrong, and because I had all the receipts to back it up, your next option was to lie to the owner of Remax and tell them that I basically verbally assaulted you. That's your recourse.
She filed one thing.
Like
she filed one.
Okay. So we got to figure out what we need to do next. We need to find out exactly what our legal recourses are. We need to find out, because I don't know what we can do, but I want to do everything that we can do, period, because this is ridiculous. And like I was telling Nick riding down, I said the reason why we're having all this trouble is because we're vocal. I'm very vocal about what my rights are, as we explained in the meeting. I'm like, these things that we're going back and forth about are in my lease. Like, I don't even understand like why there is a question as to what's going to be done, etc. I don't understand why there's a question about it. It's written in my lease that it has to happen. But the fact that I actually stood up and said this is in my lease and it has to be done, now you want to make up lies. Now you want to get the property owner to put me out because you don't want to deal with me no more, because I make you look bad because you're not doing your job. I can only imagine the people who don't stand up, the people who just go along. There's a lot of people like they want to rock the boat too much, and they just go along to get along, and they just don't say anything. I can only imagine what they have to go through, the deplorable conditions that they have to live in, because they're too scared that if they say something, then, you know, it's going to be some retaliation and repercussions, which apparently it is, because that's exactly what's happening right now, retaliation. So that's that. That is the Remax Saga of the day. We're gonna go and look at some other rental houses today and Friday, and just, yeah, because this is bananas, like absolutely bananas. Y'all, thank you for staying with me on this journey. Thank you for staying with me on this journey. I would love to hear your feedback and comments. If anyone has dealt with Remax St. Croix before and had issue, please, by all means, I would love to know about it in the comments. If anybody has a lawyer that they would like to recommend, please, by all means, I would like to know. Put it in the comments, because this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Y'all be intentional about your day. Be blessed, y'all.